beep 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 beep. Hello, it's 6 o'clock on Friday night. Welcome to Wiley's Laugh Shack News Hour. I am Wiley, your host. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. No, I'm just kidding. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? This is. I'm happy to be here. This has been a week. It's been a couple weeks. Oh, that's for sure, man. Life just happens. Um, so yeah, I know that I've been like the way that I've been doing this has been kind of all over the place. So I'm just gonna talk and just go. See how it happens. I know that I was planning on doing minutes and whatnot. It's not that that's stressful because it's like I am still writing and I am still creating content and whatnot. But I am I feel that hitting it down to 1 minute for how I'm trying to do things is different. So I'm just gonna start talking and just kind of let you people know about me, and kind of where it was. So this week, I I really wanted to start to talk to people and be a little bit more open and honest about my life and who I am and where I come from and my background and all that jazz. And so I have started to write about my about my growing up and my childhood, and a lot of that has to do with my background in religion. So at this point, any of my family members that are out there, if you're listening or watching, you're probably going to want to leave. I love you all, but if things you might not like what you hear, which that's fine. So I was raised Mormon and practiced the Mormon religion for 18 years of my life. And then just I started thinking about it one day, and just religion is not my cup of tea. That's just what it boils down to. But earlier this week, it was yesterday, I was doing some writing. I'm like, oh, I really wanted to write and think about something about just the how I would say that people who live very, very deep in religions tend to almost not necessarily live in their own reality, but live in their own reality. That's just what it is. But I don't think it's any religion at all. I think that it's if there's something that you are very, very deep into, that kind of becomes your reality. Like for instance, 10 plus years ago, no longer than that, like 15 years ago, I was addicted to a wonderful game called World of Warcraft, and my life became World of Warcraft for a long time. And so it's like, you just kind of like start to believe in these things, and that's just what you think about and talk about. And so I started, kind of like writing down, okay, so when I was in church, because growing up as a Mormon, there are, you're at church a lot. There's, a lot, it's, people say that it's strict religions and everything. And so I was thinking about it. So, okay, so Sundays, I was at church for usually 3 to 4 hours a day, or 3 to 4 hours. I think it was 9 to 12 usually. Like, I mean, they were 3 hour blocks, I should say. So that was Sundays, which is normal. I feel like that's a normal, church service. And then, but Monday through Friday, when I was in high school, I attended something that was called seminary every morning before school. And that was basically an hour worth of Bible study or Book of Mormon study, either one, whichever book we were studying that year. And then it was that, and then I would have to go off to school and, whatever. And so that's something that I was doing Monday through Friday. Then Monday nights, the church also tells their members to practice what's called family home evening. And so basically a night where all the family's home together, and then they can talk about family or life or religion. And so it was usually like I broke that down. I was like, okay, so there was family home evening, there was seminary every day, and then Wednesdays I would have what was called mutual. And this was I do admit this was the one day of the week that I really did look forward to, because it was just my friends, we would dick around, just having fun. But even still, it was more okay, church and da 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 da. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, usually, didn't have anything unless there was dances, which we had on Saturday nights. We would do camping trips. So, that was also a thing, but then, get back to Sundays. And so I was at church, as I was looking back at it, I was at church 6 days a week when I was younger, for pretty much 18 years of my life. Well, minus, some of the time that I was younger and I wasn't going to church before school. But so there was lots of church there. And then I started thinking about it. It's like, okay, so then let's see. So Sundays, I wasn't allowed to go and hang out with friends. I wasn't like if they were having parties, birthdays, or gatherings, if there was things at school. I mean, there was one thing I remember my senior year of high school. There was one thing that we had called, I think, baccalaureate, and that was usually on Sundays. And so I remember doing that. But for the most part, any activities held on Sundays, I was not allowed to do. I wouldn't work on Sundays. I could not watch TV on Sundays. And it's like I just start going up like all these things. Like, oh my gosh, and it's like I'm not saying that it's like I'm scarred or anything because I'm not. I mean, it's made me who I am, and I am thankful for that. But you kind of open up this can of worms, and it's like, oh, I don't know if I was ready to kind of go through all of that. And so then it actually got me thinking because I am I do want to come up with something to kind of showcase me as a writer and as a comedian, and I think that this is a really really good voice for me. And so I'm really excited for the things for the upcoming weeks, to see what content you guys hear from me and just to see what happens. Yeah, it's fun because I'm gonna try to be not necessarily I'm not trying to write anything that's funny per se, but I'm trying to tell my stories, in the way that I see things. So, for instance, let's see, like today, for instance, today was a rough day. I went to a funeral, and it's you never it's never fun being at funerals. But honestly, the only thing that I was thinking for the first 45 minutes or so of the service, it was legit a commercial for God. So for all of the people who are there in this congregation at this church that no one attends, they're like, okay, well, here's the reason why you should believe in God, and here's the reason why His Majesty is amazing. And so listen to that, and then like the last 15 minutes, we got to talk about, we got to hear the eulogies, and it's just thoughts like that I have. I understand that the topic of God and whatnot might scare some people off or might have some I might lose some people, but that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I am now, as I said, I was born born into the Mormon religion. I am a very very proud atheist now at this point, but it's not. I don't want people to think that I'm trying to disprove God, because I'm not. I mean, honestly, when I finally woke up one day and realized that the belief that I have that there is no God out there gives me the amount of comfort that I feel. It's like, oh yeah, this is a nice feeling where it's like, if I believe that there's no God and I feel this happy, but you have that happiness that I have by believing in a God, that's fine. Do it. I would love that you have that happiness and that belief. That's wonderful, because it's like I just want people to have their happiness, whatever. And so as I do talk about things, yeah, there might be some things that people will find offensive, but I'm not trying to be, for the most part. There are some times that you know as comedians or as people, we just try to push the boundaries because that's what you do. You look for laughs. um but yeah, it's been a week, and as I said, it's just things have been going crazy. Like I had, like I said, that funeral today, and just trying to figure out what I want to do with this. And then this is something else that I'll go into maybe at another date, but just kind of getting my own psychiatric meds under containment, because as you can tell, if you watch the past, I don't know, month and a half that I've had of these, I don't know how many episodes I've done, but if you watch them, you can see that there's been some fluctuations, and I'm trying to kind of like ease back onto my meds and get them back, get myself, I guess, kind of centered. I don't know. All that I know is that I'm really enjoying doing this. This has been a fantastic outlet for me, and people out there, I would again love to get some more input. I'm just, this at this point, I'm just using this as a talking point, and just bouncing some things off, and again, talking out loud, talking to myself. If people want to interact with me, awesome. If not, it's fine. I love y'all anyway. Um, yeah, so with that, I will bid you all adieu. Have a wonderful week. Make choices